Norman the Caterpillar. Norman was a caterpillar. He was content with his daily routine. He woke up on the walnut tree, ate leaves until he was full, and spent the rest of the day inching along, in no hurry at all. The world around him always moved so fast. The bees brought nectar to their hive and stung when they were bothered. Chipmunks ran after each other and dug holes. Just the sight of it wore Norman out. "Well, I like my life just the way it is. I don't ever want it to change," he said. One morning he met a worm named Sid. Sid moved slowly and carefully, too, so Norman thought he understood him. "All this hubbub is so awful, isn't it?" said Norman. "I think it's splendid," said Sid. "Bees must have such a lovely view." Norman frowned and crept back to the walnut tree. Norman lay down and hid under a fallen leaf. Then he spun a warm blanket of silk around him, shut his eyes, and slept for a long, long time. When Norman finally woke up again, he felt different. He broke open his cocoon and wiggled out. In the evening light, he saw his body. He was covered in a furry white coat. He waddled forward, but every step felt strange and off balance. A gust of wind came and nearly blew him over. All Norman wanted was for everything to be normal again, but he knew it never would be. Sid heard Norman's crying and found him perched on a rock. "Sid, it's me, Norman. I fell asleep and now everything is wrong," Norman wept. "I wish this had never happened." Sid spoke in a gentle voice. "You can't stop change from happening. Even the tall walnut tree must let go of all its leaves when winter comes. And the walnut tree was once a seed that changed, and it grew into a sapling. But I don't know what to do," said Norman. Sid gave Norman a big smile. "You've been asleep for a long time. Maybe if you stretch a little, you'll feel better." So Norman took a deep breath and stretched. Out from his back sprung two beautiful wings. The moon shone down through the branches of the walnut tree, and Norman felt light as a feather. Sid slid out of the way as Norman spread out his wings and flew into the night sky. "Oh, this is more wonderful than I ever imagined," Norman shouted. Then he dove down and swept Sid off the ground so that they could share the starry view together.